Hey guys, I wanted to come outside and do this video because it's such a beautiful day today, and I'm going to give the honor of this beautiful day to little Maddie Soto. Stephan Stearns, the man accused of horrific abuse of Maddie since the age of 8, and the man accused of taking her life at the age of 13, entered a plea deal today, pled guilty to all charges. Of course, took the death penalty off the table. But in this case, guys, nobody needed to see that trial. It's hard. Those, the pictures of that child, no one needed to see that. He's going to rot in prison till the day he dies. And you know what? You know who wasn't present at the hearing? That was her mother, Jen Soto. Not only was she not at the hearing, she didn't even think so much of Maddie as to send a written statement for anybody else to read. Her father was there, and her stepmother, and it's so sad that she was about to move to Texas with them, and she almost made it there. But what was the most sickening part of this hearing was Stephan Stearns at the end standing up and actually making a statement, which at least Brian Kohlberger had the decency just to sit there and not say anything. They didn't make him give any specifics about his crimes in order for his plea, just like they didn't do that with Stephan Stearns either. But at least he had the compassion, if he has compassion. What I don't know, maybe his attorneys told him not to stand up and say anything, but nope, not Stephan Stearns. No, he had to have the last. He had to speak last. And he had the audacity to stand up there and say how he misses Maddie every day, and how he just can't imagine a world without Maddie, and how he hopes that Maddie's in heaven, and that God allowed her to be in the choir because she has such a beautiful voice. And then his apology was at the very end of all of that grossness. I apologize for all the pain. Not for all the pain that I've caused. I apologize for all the pain. Also, the judge actually found him guilty of the unaliving charges. How he pled no contest. He didn't actually plead guilty to everything. He pled no contest. However, the judge did find him guilty of the taking of her life. But yeah, it's a beautiful day, and I just wanted to come out here and do this video for Maddie, because I feel like this is Maddie shining down on us right now. At least we got her perpetrator put away. Folks, like this should have never happened. You had this girl living with her mother who clearly did not have the type of maternal attachment that a mother should have, and was sending her daughter to sleep in the bedroom with this man from the ages of 8 to her death at 13. There were roommates there. One of the roommates actually gave a victim's impact statement today. But my problem is this. You stood up there and you cried for her. But why didn't you say something when you were living in the home with those people and, you knew that this was going on? Even if you didn't know about the abuse, you knew that Jen Soto was sending her little daughter upstairs to sleep in a bed with that man alone, behind a locked door, a key locked door, because Jen Soto had all of her rooms in her I believe it's a 4-bedroom condo numbered like motel rooms where she could rent them out at her leisure. But also, never couldn't find the time to, you getting all that rent from all those other rooms, and you're telling me that you couldn't take 2 hours off to be with your daughter on her 13th birthday for her party? No. But anyway, I hope and pray and will do whatever if there's anything that I can possibly find to do to make it happen, that Jennifer Soto gets charges for these. Because she is just as culpable as that man. She put her daughter in danger. Didn't bother to show up. Didn't even bother to send a written impact statement for someone else to read. Yeah, that shows you what kind of mother she is. And she's hiding in a mental health facility. Well, I hope that when she comes out of her mental health facility, that she's hit with charges as well, because she needs to be behind bars too. She allowed it to happen. But yes, just rest in peace to little Maddie Soto. And like I said, this beautiful weather that we're having today, it's hot as rip. But it's a beautiful day, and like I said, I just kind of, I hope that that's Maddie Soto, shining down on all of us. Because, we got her perpetrator behind bars. Now, just think of how many people have been saved from Stephansterns. How many other victims were there that we just don't know about? Kids, normally, they don't tell. Aaron Spencer's daughter, she had the courage to tell when she was assaulted. And her abuser was arrested. He was a former police chief in Indiana. How many more victims are out there of his? But then, when he was charged, he was immediately let go on a $50,000 bond. So that's basically $5,000. He walked out of that police station. He went home. And then right before he was to go to trial, he kidnapped her again. And her father, Aaron Spencer, after he called 911, got into his truck and drove around looking for her. He found her in that man's truck. He had kidnapped her. He ran the man off the side of the road. He got out of his vehicle. He went to that man's vehicle. He got his 13-year-old daughter out and was taking her back to his vehicle so that they could leave. And her abuser attacked him. And as a result of that, Aaron, who by all rights he can have, had his firearm on his person. And he shot that man. And they got in their truck and they left. He immediately called 911 to tell them, hey, look, I have found my daughter. But the person that assaulted her had kidnapped her. He attacked me when I was, rescuing my daughter. I shot him. He's on the side of the road. You need to go check on him. That man died. And now they've had the audacity to charge Aaron Spencer with second degree, taking the death second degree. Number one, how many more victims are there? Oh my gosh, I'm sweating to death. How many more victims are there for him for her abuser, and how many victims did that action, because the the authorities there dang sure didn't save anybody from him, because they let him, even though when they arrested him, not only was he charged with the charges for her assault, he was also charged with 37 counts of digital images for either sale or purchase, whatever, that also involved that victim. I think it was 43 charges or 46 charges total. They let him out that night on for $5,000. He got out, and then he reoffended, and then attacked the person's rescuer, and he paid for that with his life. But they want to charge that man, that man, they want to charge Aaron Spencer with second-degree murder. No. How many victims did that action save? Because obviously the authorities over there in Arkansas, who don't want you to know about this case, this video will probably be shadow banned and all that kind of stuff, because that's what's happening. Arkansas, they do not want you to know about this case. They had put a complete gag order on it in December of 2004. There have been motion after motion after motion to get it released. They won't do it. So please, spread the word. This cannot keep happening. The people that are supposed to be protecting us cannot protect those who are causing harm. And that's, I'm sorry, they let him out with over 40 charges of harming a child. But then when he kidnapped his victim for a second time and paid for that with his life because he attacked her father as he was rescuing her, her father's being charged with second degree? No. We've got to do better, folks. We've got to do better. So I'm going to jump off now. I'm getting riled up and it's hot out here, and I'm almost 50 years old. I do not want to have a heart attack in my front yard. Be out here laid up in a puddle. But anyway, yeah, we've got to do better, guys. Please, if you like my content, this is what it's about. Education, advocacy, awareness. This needs to be known. We've got to do better. All right, guys. Please like, share. The best way to support me is to subscribe to my channel. I love you guys. You guys have a great day. Have fun. And please know that you are loved. And I love you guys. Bye.